is an HP Elitedesk office PC. And in today's video, we're going to turn this boring office computer into a blazing fast gaming PC. So, let's get right into it. So guys, our first step is going to be to open this thing up and see what we're working with. And that's how we're going to figure out what exactly we can upgrade to make this thing a killer gaming PC. So, let's see what we've got. That is... Can I take this whole thing out? Well, quite frankly, that is not a lot. This appears to be a very bare bones computer, with our CPU, a bare motherboard, no RAM currently, and what appears to be a 200 watt power supply. Just to confirm, it is an 80 plus platinum, surprisingly, 200 watt unit. Yes, I was correct. So this is an 80 plus platinum, which is pretty great for efficiency. 200 watt unit, which is not great for wattage. So we're pretty limited on what we can put in the system without switching out our power supply. Now, this is a weird form factor. I think it's a little bit smaller than TFX, so I can't just replace it with, let's say, a Silverstone TFX unit. So we'll have to figure something out for that. I know the specs of this office PC to have an i7-6700, which is actually the basis for this build. I thought, wow, this is a really good CPU, even now, so why should it be wasted on what is essentially a useless office PC box? So maybe we can get some use out of this. Although we'll have to see. My first thought is we're going to need a low-profile graphics card. It has 4 low-profile expansion slots on the back, so we're definitely going to need a low-profile GPU if we're going to get anywhere with this build. There are no NVMe slots, and I don't really feel like using a SATA SSD today, so I have a solution for that. Since it appears we've got 2 16x PCIe slots, although one is most likely not 16x connectivity at the bottom there, you can see that white one, we're actually just going to use one of these. This is a M.2, this is a PCI Express 4X to M.2 adapter, and this will be a very easy way to upgrade this PC to have some fast NVMe storage. So, and it's low profile already, so we can just simply slot that right into our bottom slot and close that up all nice, and we've got an SSD. Now, we also need some RAM, and I don't want to ruin the general office aesthetic of this build at all. So I thought we'll just go with some blazing fast but kind of discreet RAM, so we've got these. These have heat spreaders that cover what actual RAM they are, and these are blazing fast memory. How fast I can't exactly tell you, but just know that they're so fast that I can't tell you. That's how you know they're really fast. Lovely. So now we have the problem of graphics card, and this is going to be very difficult. Because the more powerful a graphics card gets, the bigger it has to be. So unfortunately, any standard GPU just straight up isn't going to fit in this build. And don't forget, we need a full gaming graphics card that fits in this area. I don't know how we're going to do that. Just kidding, I know exactly how we're going to do it. With this. This, believe it or not, is an RTX 3060. It is rocking the same GPU as the 3060, but it is slightly cut down because this is NVIDIA's RTX A2000. A professional graphics card made by NVIDIA that is just basically a cut down 3060 with 6 GB of GDDR6. It is a low profile card by default with 4 full fat DisplayPort mini outputs, and it does not require any external power, so it'll be perfect for this build. It offers substantial gaming performance compared to any graphics card of the same form factor, and will lead to the best sleeper office PC that you can get without completely cutting out the motherboard or changing the aesthetic or having a full fat graphics card in here somewhere. So this is going to be pretty great. And because it's low profile, we can slot that right into our build. It requires no external power, so we don't even need to use some shady SATA adapters or anything. And that can just be slotted in, like so. That can be closed up. And just like that, we've actually got a gaming powerhouse with very little work required. Although, to be fair, it costs a shit ton of money. And if I'm being honest, I don't think we compromised the aesthetic at all. We've got a nice green and black aesthetic going in. We've got green PCB, black graphics card, green and black RAM, black cooler, green motherboard. All in all, this is a great looking build. Now, looks are one thing. How does it perform? Well, before having a graphics card, all we had was Intel integrated graphics, and you can guess how that went. But with our RTX A2000, this thing becomes a gaming beast. With 3060-like performance at a form factor that is, I'd say about 3 times smaller, this thing will crush any game in its path, and even supports ray tracing. Albeit, it's probably not the best ray tracing graphics card similar to the 3060. It also supports DLSS, which actually may come in handy with a card like this, and I couldn't be happier. You can see the benchmarks up on screen now. This thing is freaking great, and I couldn't be happier with it. It has all of this amazing gaming performance whilst maintaining the very professional office PC look. This would be a great build for the at-work gamers that don't want their boss knowing that their office PC is a fully capable gaming powerhouse, and that you will probably be playing Elden Ring as soon as he walks away. Now, the final note I have is that, yes, as I mentioned, this would be extremely expensive, and unlike throwing a 1650 in a Dell Optiplex, I can't say I recommend this. Although it looks all business on the outside, and still business on the inside, this card costs as much as, well, a freaking business. Because this graphics card, the RTX A2000, is anywhere from $700 to $1,000. This is not a budget build. This is more like just finding a graphics card that fits in this PC and slapping it in. Now, the performance is great and the results are extremely optimal, but if you were looking for a budget PC where you slap a 1650 into an Elitedesk or an Optiplex, call it a day, this is definitely not the build for you. Although I will say, if I had a low power, low profile 1650 or 1050 Ti or any similar card, this PC would also be very good for it. It's got an i7-6700, and by stock, it did have 8 gigs, but could be upgraded to 16 gigabytes of memory. It has a decent motherboard, albeit it is not standard. It does not have standard power connectors, but there actually is an adapter. Some psycho on the internet actually made this. This adapts a standard 24-pin to the HP proprietary 6 and 7-pin, this weird white one. It's kind of amazing that this even works. But it's just something to note that if you pick up an Elitedesk like this, you can actually just run this standard micro ATX motherboard in a full-size system. Leave a like and a comment if you want to see me do that some other time, but if not, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys kind of enjoyed this little video. I know that it's pretty popular to see people putting high-end graphics cards in low-end computers. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.